nation, one Mikey. Tell them all. Black nation rise. Wouldn't think of full time. Do we stop being victimized? Organize and centralize. Take the shackles off your mind. Black nation rise. Hold your head up with pride. Them no care about black lives. Now the ship are capsize. Open up your eyes. Firstly, every African a queen and king. Know your past and you will know yourself with it. Black man not got our color and no sin. Never trade my roots, me proud of my skin. Sing I forget the old slave master Jim. Pan back with fasting and you know them now bring them from the plantation. Nowadays a prison, hear the ancestors them singing African hymns. But we have to rise up in order to win. We have to see a floating sinkings and we can't sing. Call out the black leaders in our communities. We stand against injustice and stand for unity. And in action rise. Wouldn't think of full time. Do we stop being victimized? Organize and centralize. Take the shackles off your mind. Black nation rise. Hold your head up with pride. Them no care about black lives. Now the ship are capsize. Open up your eyes. Freedom must come with a cost. You can't know the future if you don't know the past. You can't sight the fullness if you don't know the half. Them milk them and the cow and them want kill the calf. Check the status, it's off the grid off the graph. Look how much blocky youths them kill off the Ross. Classism, racism, black brother them a ball. We have to fight all if we back against the wall. Like the Bengi roll. The Bengi roll. Go back to your roots and your window and yourselves. We did that with our friends, no one time to rebel. By the KKK, enough black brothers, them hang them in the suburbs, we in the projects, yo, you know see the trend. In a 2020, yo, we still a go pretend like slave master and slave bikini. They my friend, like Black Panther. Take a stance, yeah, my friend, can't play cover, rise up from lions den. Reaching out to the rude boys and all the ragamuffins. You will fall for anything if you stand for something. Black nation rise. Couldn't think of full time. Do we stop being victimized? Organize and centralize. Take the shackles off your mind. Black nation rise. Hold your head up with pride. They no care about black lives. Now the ship are capsize. Open up your eyes.
We are going to come under some pressure. You're going to hear all kinds of propaganda. You're going to hear all kinds of lies and deception. There will be tactics used to try and buy you out. There will be tactics used to try and frighten you away. And I only have to say one thing to you tonight, comrades. We are blood and fire comrades. And we're marching on to progress. And we will stand firm. We will not be bought because we are not for sale.
But where they come from, send it back, send it back. Every evil arrow, anywhere he come from, send it back. If a China, if a Jamaica, if a Haiti, where he come from, we send it back. Turn, reverse the curse, reverse the curse, reverse the order, reverse the curse, reverse the order. Somebody say, reverse the curse, yeah, reverse the order. Somebody reverse the curse, reverse the order over Jamaica, reverse the curse, mighty God, reverse the order. If a king's house, if a garden house, if a the prime minister, if a the opposition, if a politician, if a the liar, come from the doctor, come from Simon, anywhere he come from, reverse the order, reverse the order, breakthrough, we're coming through, we're coming through, reverse the curse, send back the order, reverse the curse, send back the order, where he come from, anywhere he come from.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Jamaica. Good afternoon to those who are on TikTok, and not even on TikTok today. Those who are on YouTube watching me. Welcome to another Midday Connection. I've been in the kitchen all morning. I've been working from morning, and I am here now, ready to talk to the people. Hello, good afternoon.
For me, I'm actually in Ligani now, so I'm gonna come up in a short while.
Yeah, but did you pre-order
I never pre-order it. I'll wait on it if I have to wait on it.
a strawberry glazed chicken?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Well, I'll have to see if the team if there's food left. Let me confirm.
Yeah, confirm that for me. If not, then I have to go check you another day.
Yeah, you have to pre-order. They're on. They're on. They're on. Jesus, them staff here sometimes. They're on. Can I get another strawberry chicken? Or you can come for it, miss.
All right, I'll soon come.
Mm-hmm. That is for... Mm-hmm. Welcome back, students. It's midday. Ooh. I can tell you that the days that I have not. Students, They have created somebody out there, some scammers out there have created another GoFundMe with Tyen's picture. Then put it up for $5,000. It's not associated with Anti-Claudette. That GoFundMe is not associated with Anti-Claudette. You know them going to do these things. So we're not going to let that daunt us. For those who want to give or will give, there is the right one. So if you want, in that case, you can reach out to me and I send you that link so that you will not have any problems. All right? That is just a basic update of what is happening. I'll have some update for you soon. I'll have some further updates for you soon. So just keep praying for Anti-Claudette. As you're aware, where we are right now is we're preparing for the 9 night on Sunday. So I have all of that preparation and I have a funeral to go on Saturday for Tonian's sister. So I'm doing all of that and preparing for Canada. I'm not telling my students. I feel like if you just go somewhere and just stretch out my body and just not answer nobody for 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Not talk to nobody and just Well, I'm journeying to St. Anne this afternoon where I'll be catching up with Dr. Kenneth Russell. Dr. Kenneth Russell is replacing Lisa Hanna, outgoing MP. He's an educator, but many people don't know him on Pradna Draw TV. And today, you will get that opportunity to speak to Dr. Kenneth Russell. He is the caretaker, the MP candidate for Southeast St. Anne. Welcome, Dr. Kenneth Russell, to PDTV News, Jamaica, Midday Connection.
Hey, Andre. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, Dr. Russell. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Listen, man, if you need to get away, disappear, these things are difficult to deal with. But we are not too dissimilar in the fact that we're going through this mourning period. So I look, if that's what you need to do, because we need you as you are, ready to serve us in the way you have been. So please do what you need to do. And again, my compliments.
I just giving notice to Jamaica. I just giving notice to the opposition that will be in government. As the election beat and teach, Donna Thompson Carroll, I believe that I should get a vacation right after Mark Golding is sworn in, even for 1, 2, or 3 weeks. Who agree with it? I think I would have done enough work by then. Right, students? I think right after I win the election with the opposition turn government, I think I would deserve, things that Dr. Russell, that I should be able to get even 1, 2, or 3 weeks just for rest after that vigorous battle to get out the cockroach them out of this country.
I tell you, after this war, yes, man, definitely put up your foot, and probably have some sun and some sea, and
Hmm.
a break from it all. Well deserved, well deserved.
No, me not even want for day in Jamaica. You know where I want to go?
Where you want to go?
Zanzibar.
Oh, Zanzibar.
Yes, I want to go to Africa. I
Yeah,
want to
I thought you
go.
were going to say Zimbabwe because I spent 3 years in Zimbabwe, and I tell you, it's an amazing country for vacation. So don't
Mm.
count it out.
No, man, but I like Zanzibar. I think Zanzibar fit me. Fit me. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Zanzibar. Just go and rest up myself down those nice, cool beaches when you're looking at the. I want to go. Pardon, natural students, let us get ready to go to Zanzibar. All
I
right.
like it. I like it. I like it.
Yes, Dr. Kenneth Russell, can you tell Jamaica today you're on the most infamous political platform in Jamaica and the Caribbean, probably the Western Hemisphere? Can you tell Jamaica today who is Dr. Kenneth Russell?
Again, thanks for having me here. You have a whole heap of fans at Southeast, so a lot
Mhm.
of, I want to big them up, and I know they're here listening and checking it out. So I am from Southeast St. Anne. I'm a boy from the hills, place called Pedro River, which is close to the border with Clarendon. So I grew up in the constituency, went to the best high school probably in Jamaica, the Ferncourt High School. All my formative years were in the constituency.
Mm-hmm.
I after Ferncourt went on to teach as a pre-trained teacher, and
Mm-hmm.
then subsequent to that went to university. I had my first degree from Howard University in the States,
Oh,
and professionally, yeah, the Bisons. And then I spent time working with the United Nations, starting in Jamaica, and then I went back because I was committed. I knew I wanted to be part of the development of this country and the broader global struggle that we were a part of. And
yeah.
so I went on to do a master's in education, a doctorate in education from Harvard University.
Mm,
And on top of that, then went on to work, as I said, in Zimbabwe. I spent 3 years working in Zimbabwe, 3 years in Bangladesh, spent
wow.
time in Sri Lanka, as well as working with the UNICEF from its headquarters in New York. So,
Mm,
been around, local boy, but I've had that global and international exposure. Working primarily on education, youth development issues, community development, and so on. So, good
mm.
preparation for the role that I am stepping into now, because it allowed me to see and to understand what's possible, the transformation that is possible. So that's me in a nutshell, committed to the people, my people,
Yeah.
committed to ensuring we get better. Yeah.
So basically, a yard and abroad, you are globally recognized as an international educator.
Yeah, I was a manager of programs for UNICEF, and would have worked in both development settings and as well as emergencies. So I
Mhm.
was part of the team with the Rohingya response in Bangladesh when the Rohingya people were chased out of Myanmar.
Wow.
So yeah, so that gives you the opportunity to support governments as they try to provide education access to children. And yeah, I'm glad that I had that opportunity.
Just a moment. Hello, good evening. No, dear, we're totally out of that right now. Mhm. Yes, Doc. So you were in Bangladesh and you were in Rwanda in that time when there was that what is happening in the Rwanda space.
No, not Rwanda, Bangladesh,
Bangladesh,
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, I was in Zimbabwe. I left Zimbabwe actually the day they overthrew President Mugabe was the day I was leaving Zimbabwe. So I was there for the last 3 years of his rule as president.
What
So
was
some of the things that we see going on now, not very different from what you see in a space like Zimbabwe. So we have to be very careful as a country because we're making these steps that are taking us into a direction, an autocratic state that
you mean
nobody wants to live
some of the things happening in Jamaica now is
in Jamaica.
similar to
Yes,
what
man.
you experienced in Zimbabwe.
Yes, man. When
Mm,
when you when you speak ill of the president and you get arrested, locked up, that was a fact of life and still is in Zimbabwe. The institutions of the state responsible for dealing with corruption, when those are muzzled or they are, they are led by cronies of the leadership of the government. That's the situation there. So, and that's what we see happening here. So we have to be very, very careful. Actually, we need to get rid of this government so that it doesn't go any further.
Mm. You were a part of a press conference this morning, right?
Yes, yes.
What was in that press conference today?
Yeah. So the
What
press
was
conference was, yeah, man, we were focusing on the issues in education. So Senator Crawford, Damien, and myself held that conference to call attention to what we think is a crisis around literacy and reading, literacy broadly and reading specifically. The country, the leadership of the ministry continues to tinker, continues to pretend as if this is something new, as if they don't know what the situation is. And they're not doing enough. They're not showing the leadership that is required. And they're certainly not showing the innovation and the seriousness that the situation requires. So we call attention to that, the fact that you have uh, the example really of Pembroke Hall, but Pembroke Hall is not an isolated case. Where
mm,
70% of the students who are in grade 7, them people that go through PEP, go through all of primary, get to grade 7 and still reading below grade 3 level.
mm.
So it's a disgrace really. And as a
It's a
country, we have to own up to it because it's not only them, it's a problem for the entire system. And so we were calling attention to that and saying we can do better and we intend to do better as a government. So laying out what we will do when we form government. So that was the thrust of the work of the press conference this morning.
But based on your levels of expertise
Mm.
and the crisis we're having in education presently, I presume that you would be the junior minister or the state minister in education with Damian Crawford as minister. What would be the priorities of a state minister like Kenneth Russell when it comes on to literacy and numeracy in our schools?
So I'll serve wherever the prime minister places me. But the priorities of the government,
Mm.
which I will be a part of, we've set out a number of things. And for starters, it's policy, making sure we're clear policy wise that
Yes.
children must learn to read by the end of grade 3. And if you have that clear policy direction, the other things are the specifics that we intend to do. So that priority, because when children learn to read by grade 3, the rest of the journey becomes more about them reading to learn. So you get um, you've built the interest, you've built the foundation, and then they can continue to build on that, what we call scaffold,
Mm.
so that they get better. So policy position, that's one. The second thing is around support for teachers to make sure teachers have the capacity. And it's
Right.
not a one-off thing. It has to be an ongoing support to make sure that the teachers are able to practice. And we, yesterday, you'd have heard Comrade Guy talking about our teacher retention plan, because
We did
building
believe.
capacity of teachers as well as giving them the tools, making sure we retain the best of our teachers through concessions on motor vehicle, special NHT loans, specialized NHT loans, as well as tools for their trade, making sure they have the resources they need in the classroom and for their individual practice. So
Mm.
teachers, investing in the teachers is
Yes.
critical. In prioritizing the or taking a policy stand regarding reading by grade 3, then
Yes.
you all to make sure that you're putting in place the resources at classroom. So you want to make sure the children are getting to school. That's one thing. So we talk about the investment in um, vouchers for transportation for up to 20,000 of the most marginalized
Mm.
children, the ones that who are struggling the most to get to school, which is very different from saying you want a school bus service, because we want it to be targeted and make sure those who need it most actually
Mm.
get it. We need to get them, even not at school right now with the higher levels of absenteeism.
Yes.
You can't teach them, right? If you're missing 2 days of school, which is what 2 days per week from school, which is what the 40% in some areas amounts to. You're not really going to learn. If you miss the foundation, you can't catch up later. So we want to deal with that. We want to make sure when you go to school, you get lunch. You should not be, as a household, struggling to figure out, do I send one or send two, or do I use the money that is to buy medication to give them to go to school for lunch money? So all children having a meal at school solves that problem. And it also takes out the discrimination which is happening now, where you have
Yes.
some packed lunch and some other lunches. We're saying, let's level the playing field. A child at school, at $400 per child, will have a lunch at school, a hot meal at school. So you solve some of the issues which might not seem education related, but the child, in order to function, needs those supports. So the child is at school, the child is comfortable at school.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as I said, the support for the teachers to teach. And so that's where it starts. The critical thing now is to make sure that the assessments, in the system, we have assessments at grade 1, we have assessment at grade 3, at grade 4, grade 5, up to grade 6. And it is clear to us that the assessment not informing the practices of the teachers in a lot of cases. So the targeted instructions that's required is critical, because it makes sense. You assess me at the end of the year and find out if I can't read, right?
True.
Because actually you can't do anything about it until next year, and a 2-week or a 3-week summer program is not enough,
Yes.
because actually in the summer you're going to lose more of what you had learned before. So
Mm-hmm.
two things here. One, ongoing assessment. We talk about it as targeted instruction. So every 6 weeks, every 3 months, there is an assessment that's done. This is where
Dr.
artificial
Russell.
intelligence can come in to help. And then one more thing, making sure that we take advantage of the summer. So it's not just a couple of weeks in the summer. This morning, we were talking about a summer term, which gives the children more time during that period to continue their learning. And of course, you make that fun and exciting, but you want to make sure. There's a thing in the research called summer slide, where you lose a significant, I think it's up to a third of what you learned during the school year in the
Mm-hmm.
summer. It don't make no sense. So we want to put an end to that. So you're going to ask me something.
But Dr. Russell,
Yes.
as an educational practitioner, you understand the dynamics of what is needed to fix the crisis. But when you look at Senator Dana Morris Dixon and this Andrew Holmes administration, they're totally out of touch as to what are the remedies necessary to sort out the education system and give it a proper fix.
Well,
What would be your response to Adina Morris Dixon when she says reading is to be reintroduced in schools?
you are into lunch, into cooking. You're a chef.
Mm-hmm.
You put a chef in the kitchen, you put two chefs in there, give them the same ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know what I do, if you don't know how to combine it, if you don't know how to time when certain things are put in, you're going to spoil it. So one will come out with a mess, and the other one will come out with a marvel, right? Right
Mm.
now we have a mess, because
Or
there's a lot of you know talk
experiment.
that yeah, well, not even good experiment, because when you experiment, you use the result of the experiment to change and to improve the system, right?
Mm.
So we tend to be focused on the things that sound catchy, the things that we think will resonate with people, but the
Mm.
deep policy decisions that are required, the investments that are required, are not happening. Over 95% of the budget is still education budget, is still going to housekeeping, right? So if you're serious about transformation of the education system, you have to invest in a real way, and that's not happening. Now, reintroducing reading, a lot of teachers, a lot of schools would question that. And sure, there is value in having reading as a subject and teaching it separate from other things. But it is not for lack of reading in the curriculum at the moment. So
Mhm.
it is a nice thing to say and do. And as I said, there could be some additional value there. The real issue, though, because at the moment, the integrated curriculum, it does have strong components. And when I check with schools in Southeast and other places, a lot of schools are teaching reading. The problem is they don't have enough specialists. They're not getting enough specialist support, right? And as I said earlier on, even when they are able to do the assessments, they don't have the resources to actually make the best use of those assessments. So my thing to the ministry is to stop acting as if all of this is a surprise, is a new thing that they're discovering. You know, we're long past that. We need fundamental reforms that will ensure that the curriculum changes in a significant way. There's ongoing support to teachers so that they can practice effectively. And we have to make sure that the classrooms, even basic resources, basic furniture, and so on that are required in classroom, that we take care of those things. We have to treat the reform as the emergency that it actually is. But right now, you know, as I said, it's as if it's a new discovery. Every time the media reports something, we hear a response. But you can't run a system that way. The pieces in a kitchen, having the ingredients doesn't mean you're going to get a good meal. And right now, that's what's happening. We're not getting the results that we require. They need to actually, I was going to say them going to need to wheel and come again, but actually they need to wheel out.
But that's it. I see them take up a political neophyte, sending to run against you. Them him never get even an opportunity in South Manchester, so him run come a South East Centre, saying that him can take away South East Centre from you.
Yes.
But your seat is one that has had some political giants. From the days of Aluna Samba, then Lisa Hanna, then now yourself. And from my understanding.
And remember before that, Foggy Mullins, Seymour Foggy Mullins, and before him, Dr. Ivan Lloyd.
All of those people, weren't they ministers of government?
They were.
All of those people were ministers of government. So if I am going according to the history of Southeast Centre, I'm not even going to prescribe it tonight. Today I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yes.
But what is the state of affairs in Southeast Centre?
So yes, I know. Well, assuming things remain as they are because they've changed candidates a few times. We now know who I'm running against, and you know we'll do what we do best in Southeast, which is to, you know, kill off the political careers of those who come in opposition to the People's National Party as member of parliament candidates. We know that, as you rightly said, I am running against someone who has been rejected 3 times, twice by the People's National Party and once by the party he has now adopted. So we look forward to the final whipping whenever the election is called. Outside of that, or in addition to that, we're doing the work. We're ready. When I walk, I'm on the ground. We walk 4 or 5 days per week, and we're making sure that comrades are ready and motivated. From the local government election, I don't know if you know this, but we won. We had 3 of the divisions before. We won the 4th, so now we have 4, all 4 divisions run by the People's National Party, held by the People's National Party. So Monique, and I just want to use the chance to also hail my councillor comrades, Garrick in Monique, Harty in Claremont, Gohagan in Kensington, and Bell in Beachertown. So we had a margin.
Is you have the pretty councillor Harty? Good day, councillor Harty, me bono no knows. But
yes,
they were starting a rumor that Councillor Harty was to replace you. But there's no truth to that.
You know, there's absolutely no truth to that, because the same week when that came about, I was also presented, or the plans were in place for me to be presented by the party leader. So we don't pay attention to those things. There are lots of forces at work which would want to see disunity. Our focus is on winning the election and doing the work that the people requires, because there's a lot to be done. Young people are crying out. They need a government that is going to look out for their interests, as we are in education, in agriculture, in housing, and of course, sports and the arts and so on. The population generally is crying out around the fact that they've neglected, and in some cases deliberately sabotaged, the constituency, so that our roads are definitely not what we would like them to be. And we intend to change that. And the same goes in terms of skills, entrepreneurship, and so on. So that's what I'm focused on. And I'm actually not even I don't have the time to look on the distractions, because the work that needs to be done is enough, to occupy my time right now. So that's what I'm focusing on: planning, making sure that comrades are coming out to vote, and doing the planning necessary so that when we win, we're ready to hit the ground running.
Mhm. So, what new and different are you going to offer to the people of Southeast St. Anne? Because the argument is that that constituency has been in the column of the People's National Party for years. And then the JLP is arguing that the People's National Party has not done much for the people of Southeast St. Anne over the years. What is your response to them today?
So the first thing is that that's a lie. And you cannot judge a constituency based on the metrics that they're using. If you look at what has happened to this constituency over time, where I am from, in the 1970s, a People's National Party government that brought electricity there. The JLP locked down Money College, locked down the training center in Golden Grove in the 1980s. The only chance they had, that's what they did. We reopened those and expanded them, right? So it is under the PNP government that the constituency has made progress on access to electricity, expansion of the road network, and so on and so forth. I mean, I say everything perfect. I'm not saying we're even close to where we want to be, right? But I'm saying it is a lie to suggest that the party has done nothing. When you look at issues of housing and name it, access to education, the network of primary schools, we are proud of what we have done. But we are committed as well. I am committed to doing more because there's a lot more to do. So new and different. I my style of leadership is I think essential that we start there. I am underground. I am a man who believes in presence. I learn, or I'm adopting what I think was Foggy Mullings' greatest strength, which is to be with the people on a consistent basis. And I think that's how you get to understand and can respond most effectively to what's going on. So the style of leadership, making it participatory, making sure people know and can feel and touch, and have a strong role in the leadership. Young people are critical to that. They are going to be essential to that. Of course, this is my home. This is where, as I said, not just from but grew up, and so it is personal in the sense that I want to make sure that we are moving ahead on road. I find I don't know if I hate anything the way I hate bad roads, because that is in many ways a tax on poor people, right?
Yes.
So that is something 100% focus on issues of roads and trying to get those basic things right, because I think when we get those things right, our people will flourish. New and different, the technology in agriculture, I'm insisting, and part of our CDF funds, but also bringing in resources from other entities to support integration of technology in agriculture, and making sure that we are producing. We have lands. Probably we are the largest, geographically the largest constituency, and a lot of the lands are underdeveloped. And so it's an opportunity to invest in a way that young people can own, but also make some of those lands productive, which is
How involved is Lisa Hanna, the outgoing MP, in terms of your campaign? Dr. Russell, are you there? Something happened. I'm not hearing him. Guys, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? His internet got freezed up, and he was doing such a lovely interview, guys. He was doing such a lovely interview. Hope he gets back the opportunity to return. I hope he gets the opportunity to return, because the interview was going really well. Interview was going really well. Weren't you enjoying his interview? Yeah, he's back now. He's back. Yes, Dr. Russell, I don't know what was happening.
I think my phone overheated and just kicked me out. Like, start again. So I might have missed something you said. You want to repeat for
I
me,
was
please?
asking how actively involved is Miss Lisa Hanna in terms of your campaign?
So Comrade Hannah is member of parliament, and she's active in that regard. Has she has not come on the campaign trail as yet. I'm still hoping that at some point she does, but I also know that she had so she has kept a separate. We try to keep the governance issues which she's focused on separate from the political campaign. But at the moment, she has not had any involvement.
Oh, not have any involvement, but you're hoping you're positive that hopefully she'll get on the trail soon.
Yes, we live in hope. Yes.
Mm. But what are the numbers looking like? I don't want to hear your numbers, but I hear that your numbers will surpass her numbers from the last election.
Well, what we know from
A
the
birdie whispered to me and said, "Teacher," a birdie whisper. Remember, you say I have a lot of fans
yes.
down there. One
Uh-huh.
of the birdies in Southeast Center and whispered to me and said, "Teacher, we reach almost 10,000." Mm.
That's if look if we do that, it would be even more than I think. Foggy Mullins had 9,750. I think that's his highest number.
Mm.
So it would be historic in many ways if we're able to do that. What we know from the local government election, our margin was 2,300 plus over the JLP. We had 6,000 plus votes, which is more than we had in the 2020 general election.
Mhm.
So we are seeing strong engagement. Some comrades who had, stepped away for one reason or the other
They're coming
they're
back.
coming back. Yes. So I think the fact that we have the four councillors and we are working together, that energizes comrades, as you know. So look, man, let Mayor say you have good contacts with Andrew. Tell him call it, and then I can give you a
I
number
have
as
good
soon as
one.
you
What you said, Dr. Russell? You have good one. Dr. Russell. I'm going paraphrase something from one of Jamaica's and the Caribbean's. One of Jamaica and the Caribbean's greatest political voices.
uh-huh.
Don't draw me tongue and don't trouble this boy.
No trouble about it. All right, brother. All right.
Because Dr. Russell, I have only one. That's remember, I started the discussion that after I send him in retirement,
Yes.
August, after I send him in retirement, August, I just
Yes.
need 3 months off to go to Zanzibar to go just rest up to come back.
Mhm.
Because even though I'm going to rest up and come back, Mark Jefferson Golding and the PNP will not have the luxury of doing the skullduggeries that this man has done to this country. I'll be the voice and the gridlock to sit with and hold the Golding administration to account.
But we need that.
Mhm,
We need that, and we welcome that
mhm,
because any government, look, if we're not acting in the interest of the people, we don't deserve to win. We don't want power just for the sake of it. As I said, certainly for Southeast, it's about how we may use the state to transform the lives of the people. Otherwise, we're just doing it for ourselves, and we're not into this thing whereby give us 2 terms, we deal with our people, and then the third term will be for the rest of the people. That's
mm.
not us. Every day, the people need to be at the center. Every decision, the people need to be at the center. And you would have heard in her contribution to the State of the Nation debates, Comrade Natalie Nita Garvey spoke about the fact that we are going to invest in and make central to our platform participatory governance, right?
Mhm.
So no, not you shouldn't ease up. All of civil society should sharpen their tools and get ready to hold us accountable because we think we can stand up to that scrutiny. And if we don't, then the people have a basis on which to say, look, man, we've misplaced our trust. But I certainly don't want to be a part of an administration that is not doing right by the people consistently. And I look forward to you leading that conversation, just as you're helping to send him into retirement, because that's where he deserves to be right now.
Well, when we lock that box and throw away the key for all the tricks he played, and
all of us.
wholeness must go down. Wholeness must go down. Wholeness must go down for the tricks he played.
And not just him, him and the other 48.
Vaz must go down.
All right.
Amuda must go down.
Green
must go down. Denadora must go down. Who else must go down, Jamaica? It's 49 of them must go down, Jamaica.
Boy, we have Min, we have Samuda, we have Krista, Rhoda, all of them. Because they've aided and abetted. They have been part and parcel of this corruption that has plagued this administration. Look, corruption, it means right now, we have schools where children, we talked earlier about literacy. We have 5 children sharing a textbook in today's Jamaica.
What?
But if the money had not been misused, it could have gone into schools, right? We have schools where termites are eating down the chalkboard, and wherever you have any kind of wood in the schools.
Yes.
So the money that is misused and stolen
from Ruel Reid and CMU and Grace McLean, all of them.
Yes, man.
They have been educational imperialists and colonizers who have invaded the education sector. They have taken from the education purses and the treasure, and the children of the land has suffered.
Tell you, if ever there's a case of robbing the children's bread, this is what it is. Because you take education, you're taking from the children, you're taking from the future of the country.
Don't you think, though, Dr. Russell, yourself and Damian Crawford should launch a commission of inquiry into the resources that has been misplaced in the Ministry of Education for the last 10 years?
The extent to which we do inquiries would not be a minister by minister or ministry by ministry decision. That's the kind of decision that will have to be taken as a cabinet and certainly by the government more broadly. So what we need to do...
Don't you think you'd want to call on cabinet to do an inquiry in the Ministry of Education?
Well, let's see what we find.
You know why I say so? Remember, it's about 4 or 5 colonizers have gone there, Remember, there was Reed. Remember, there was Carl Samuda. Carl Samuda mash it up, Faval she come detonate it. And now Dana Morris Dixon turn it in a graveyard. I think it needs a serious commission of inquiry.
So I think it's across the board. Take a serious look at what is happening and how is it. If a commission of inquiry serves the purpose, then that's what it will be. But again, it's not something that we will take at a minute. It has to be a government decision. So, the comrade leader might be better placed to pronounce on this, but we'll have to wait and see.
When the right time comes. So corruption.
When the time come, some are got charged for corruption. Oh yes.
And you
where you find that?
You know worry, man. My production team
is producer work.
Production team is already, but
producer must get free lunch today.
Him always get free lunch. That the one him soon come as a teacher, me hungry. But I one thing he ever getting lunch. That I one thing I never make people hungry. Even Even if you're my enemy, you call me and say you need food. I'm gonna make sure so you get food. That is how I
Awesome.
operate.
Awesome.
So
But before, let me just do one. Let me say one quick thing, because the the people, especially young people, they have become disenchanted. When you see young people, I say them now vote and so on. In part, it's because them feel like all of the politicians are the same. We're just here to grab and scrape. And so we have to show the People's National Party, when we form government, we have a duty to make sure people, we rebuild trust in the systems of government. And we can only do that by ourselves being able to stand up to scrutiny, but also making sure that even the perception of corruption is dealt with in a way that people can say, well, there was nothing there. So again, that's something that as a party we are committed to. We will not have it any other way, because this is also about saving the democracy, our democracy as a country.
interesting. 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 So what are your final words today to the people of Southeast St. Anne?
Here we are. First, let me thank everybody for the love and support, and for them continuing to support you. As you say all the time, like up the live. We continue to do that, and thank you for the work that you do. To the people of Southeast,
Yes.
you have one of your sons, somebody who grew up at your feet, somebody who shares your values, who has actually lived the issues that we need to address in that constituency. And so we want to work together to make our home, our constituency better. I want to lead that process. So your vote for me, the first action is the support. No, the second is the vote. And then the third is that partnership that we are going to engage in to make sure that we deliver results. So as I say in my campaign, Russell for results. That's what this is about. It's about results in the lives of people, water, the basic things that for far too long have evaded us. And so that's the commitment that I'm making. I want to thank my comrade councillor colleagues, Garrick, Bell, Gohagan, Harty, because together we are going to transform lives. And I think we owe it to the people to make sure they can begin to see the change, starting as soon as the elections are called. So right now, all of us in Southeast are actually saying to Andrew, call it, no brother.
Call it.
Call it.
Call it. Well,
Call it.
Dr. Russell, thank you for joining us today. So for persons in Southeast St. Anne who wants to be a part of the campaign team, where can they find your office?
My campaign office is the next to the pharmacy, below the it's in the Wizzy Plaza, it's called. It's
Wizzy Plaza.
yeah, so that bluish building where the Western Union is. That's where my office is. And then they can also reach me directly. Everybody should have my number, 876-327-9226.
Repeat
And
the number that they can find you.
876-326-9226. And we will also soon we'll have a sign up form on my social media pages for people to join.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thank you for joining again, and be blessed, be positive, and we look forward election night when I'm reading out constituencies by constituencies. I'll be calling Southeast St. Anne in the winning column of the first 25 seats for the People's National Party.
Boy, I want to make in the first 10. You make sure you call me, and we get it out of the way quickly.
All right, Dr. Russell, walk good and
Listen,
stay.
my brother, and again, my condolences, and continue to be strong. I appreciate the work that you do for all of us.
I'm holding strong. I'm holding strong. I'm holding strong. Bless you now.
You too, my brother. Take care.
Here, Jamaica, it was a pleasure having Dr. Kenneth Russell here today on Midday Connection. I hope you all enjoyed that interview. It was short, direct, to the point. Sometimes I don't have the energies to do these interviews, Jamaica. But I try my very best to do them because I know some people need to know more of the candidates that are representing the People's National Party. I hope you all enjoyed that interview. I will see you all tonight. I have an interesting lineup. For Jamaica tonight. I have an interview, and then I will have a conglomerate or a group of young people who are ready to speak about the future of Jamaica. So be ready for 8 o'clock tonight. Stay blessed, Jamaica, and remember, support Auntie Claudette's GoFundMe. I will get the information for the Falls GoFundMe so you can all report it so we can get it out of the way. But love you, Jamaica. Keep positive, Jamaica. And remember, when they go low, we keep high. Blessings, blessings, blessings.